Have you ever met someone who just can't stop talking about themselves? Someone who always seems to be the center of attention, as if the world revolves around them? You might be surprised to learn that certain MBTI personality types are more likely to show signs of narcissism than others. And what if I told you that you might even recognize some of these traits in yourself? Stay with me, because today we're going to explore which MBTI personality types have a predisposition for narcissism and how this manifests in their everyday behavior. The topic we're discussing today is one that might make you reflect on yourself and those around you. We'll be talking about how different MBTI personality types, yes, that famous test that tells you if you're an INFP, an ESTJ, or something else, can show signs of narcissism. Now, we're not saying that everyone of a certain type is narcissistic, but there are some tendencies that might make certain traits emerge more easily. And yes, I promise that what you'll discover today might really surprise you. But before we dive into the details, let me tease your curiosity a bit. Which personality type do you think has the highest potential to be narcissistic? You might immediately think of someone extroverted who loves being the center of attention, but it might not be that simple. I guarantee that some of the answers will leave you speechless. And it's not just a matter of extroversion or introversion. There's much more beneath the surface. Now, before we continue, take a mental guess. Which personality type do you think is more prone to narcissism? While you're thinking about that, I'll give you an overview of common narcissistic traits and how they can manifest in certain MBTI personalities. So, what exactly makes a person narcissistic? Narcissism is typically characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. But how does this connect to MBTI personality types? This is where it gets interesting. For example, have you ever noticed how some people seem to have a natural inclination to be leaders? But sometimes this turns into behavior that might seem selfish or domineering? Could it be that some of these characteristics are linked to a specific personality type? Now let's think about a personality type like ENTJ. This type is known for being assertive, strategic, and command-oriented. It's a personality type that often emerges as a leader in various contexts. But what happens when these qualities are taken to the extreme? Could an ENTJ show signs of narcissism? Maybe an excess of confidence in their abilities could lead an ENTJ to focus too much on themselves, ignoring others. Now let me tell you a story. Imagine a friend. Let's call him Marco. Marco is an ENFP, known for being enthusiastic, creative, and sociable. But Marco has a little flaw. He tends to talk a lot about himself and constantly seeks others' attention. At times, it almost seems like nothing interests him more than his own world. Could this behavior indicate a narcissistic tendency? And if so, what does that mean for ENFPs in general? And what about someone like Sarah, an INFJ? INFJs are known for being empathetic, idealistic, and reserved. But when an INFJ is excessively focused on their ideal self, could they become egocentric in their view of the world? Could a strong desire to maintain a perfect image lead to narcissistic traits? Do you see how each personality type can have its own unique version of narcissism? It's this complexity that makes the topic so fascinating. It's never just a matter of saying, this type is narcissistic and that one isn't. Rather, it's about understanding how certain traits can manifest differently depending on the personality. As we approach the end of this video, I'd love to know. Did you recognize yourself in any of the things we discussed today? Or think about someone you know. Do you see any similarities between their MBTI personality and the narcissistic traits we talked about? Write it down in the comments. I'm curious to read your experiences. And if this video made you think or gave you some interesting insights, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Every week we explore new facets of personality and human behavior, and I'm sure you won't want to miss the upcoming content. Turn on notifications to stay updated. Finally, remember that no personality is inherently good or bad. We all have sides of our personality that can emerge in different ways depending on the circumstances. So take what you've learned today as a tool to better understand yourself and others. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.